This is the second time I've tried to start this video, because the first time I tried to do it, I spent about 5 minutes thinking about the first things I would say at the start of the video, which is hilarious, and is very, very me. But I thought I'd just start again and just tell you that this is my second take. Quick premise from what it is that I'm actually ranting about on this video, which you're very kindly spending probably the next 20 seconds watching, because you've got other things going on, which is completely just understandable. Where am I right now? What am I doing, and what are my plans? The biggest thing that is coming to my attention at the moment is the fact that over the past year I've spent a lot of time being very afraid, and the things that I've been afraid of are very, I'd say they're trivial in such a way that most people wouldn't necessarily be afraid of it. It's I've been afraid of sensations that I've been experiencing, and if you've been watching any of my other videos, I've struggled with a long time with agoraphobia, which is technically a fear of the outside, but it's more than that. It's not a fear of the outside. It's a fear of something bad happening to you, something that you're not wanting to experience, while I'm not somewhere that I'd be able to cope well in experiencing that negative thing, if that makes sense. So, for example, I've really struggled with this sense of feeling like I'm going to pass out, which I didn't realise at the time. I had this almost sensation of being drunk, and I didn't have a clue what it was about. I thought I've got cancer, I've got diabetes, it's all undiagnosed. The doctors didn't have a clue what was going on. Every day I was having this sensation, I'm going to pass out, I feel drunk, I feel faint, I feel like I'm going to lose control, I'm going to crash my car while I'm driving it. And they were panic attacks, very weird panic attacks. I've had panic attacks all my life, I just didn't have anything quite like this before. Sorry for the lighting, by the way. I've left this video a bit late. It's currently 4 o'clock in December, so that's why it's so dark. But yeah, I'd have these almost these panic attacks, which I didn't realise at the time were panic attacks. They were almost like this this weird sensation of being drunk, and then I basically thought, oh shit, I better not have this sensation while I'm driving, or when I'm at work, or when I'm working out, or any time where I'm not at home, because if I pass out and die, who's going to take care of me? And this is getting way too off topic for what I'm talking about, but I'll briefly explain. I go down this rabbit hole where I'd suddenly revert to how I was when I was probably 13 years old, the last time I had a real bad bout of anxiety-induced agoraphobia. And I've been stuck in the house, I've been struggling, couldn't leave the house really, I couldn't drive 10 minutes down the road. It was bad, really, really, really was bad. However, thankfully, through a lot of work, which I'll explain in a different video, I've overcome the majority of that. I'm at a point now where I'm able to travel around, and I don't have really those same issues. And when I say I'm able to travel around, I'm comfortable driving an hour, 2 hours away on my own. Anything over that, I'll start to get a little bit anxious. But again, these are things that I can overcome, and things I have overcome, so that's not a death sentence. But I'm past that point now, and my sort of journey to sort of deal with anxiety, let me just move out of the way so this man can merrily walk slowly with his dog out of the road and hold his hand up to say thank you. It's a nice gentleman. So anyway, these things that I've learned to overcome over the past, that's a lot of walk, isn't it? Over the past past year essentially, have been absolutely critical in my growth, in terms of reverting to being a 23-year-old again, a 22-year-old at the time, but a 23-year-old again. Living at 22 years old in my childhood bedroom, doing nothing but hiding under my covers and dragging myself out to go to work, where I would then have panic attacks in front of all my colleagues. It's not a nice thing to experience, to be honest with you, and it's something that I don't miss, obviously. My point for making this whole speech is, the way that I got through that is by exposing myself to more of what I was afraid of, but doing it willingly rather than being exposed, as it were, like having to go to work or having to go out. I was choosing to do a difficult thing in order to put myself in a position where I can overcome difficult and scary obstacles. And in doing so, you become braver, or I became braver. And it's amazing to see. Your brain is so plastic. You don't, at least I didn't expect this to be the case, but go through a tunnel. Your brain is plastic, and it will change dramatically based on what you put into it and what you tell yourself. So essentially, what I've been telling myself recently is that I'm capable of doing things, and the sensations that I've been having they've been uncomfortable, but they're not dangerous. And that's the big sort of mantra I've been telling myself: is this is uncomfortable, but it's not dangerous. It's uncomfortable, but it's not dangerous, and I can handle it. I can handle it. I mean, I've handled all of them up until this point. I'm going to continue to do so. There's no stopping. So that's worked well for me, and like I say, I've got to a point now where I'm able to do all these things, and I'm pretty much back where I was before this period of anxiety really started. I'm at my baseline again. However, my baseline isn't zero. I mean, it's not zero for anyone, but my baseline is I'm comfortable driving a few hours away from home, but anything more than that is dangerous and scary, and I'd rather avoid it, which is definitely not how I want to live my life. And this is one of the reasons why I've decided in the new year, as of January, to leave my position at my work, at my job. Now, I work as a barista trainer for a small coffee roasting company based in sort of like northwest England, and it's a great job. I really enjoy it, and I have enjoyed it for a long time. And little things have been sort of telling me that I'm not necessarily as valued as I thought I was in that place, and that my time is not necessarily being valued as much as I think it should be, in my opinion, and other things. But that's besides the point of this video. There's been multiple reasons as to why I want to leave. The main one is I've kind of got to a point now where I'm excited to put in the hard work to drive myself out of my comfort zone, and to grow as a man and as a person, and to really like see what I'm actually capable of. And what I mean by that is going travelling. I want to go abroad. Now, for context, I have never been on a plane on my own. I have only ever been abroad 3 times. The last time I went abroad, I went for a day to Ireland, which is an hour, 40-minute flight from where I live in Manchester. And before that, I was 13 years old, so 10 years ago, I went with my parents and my sister to Portugal, and I haven't been since. And a lot of the reason for that is I've been scared of multiple different things happening, but it doesn't matter what the content is of the anxiety. It's just anxiety itself has prevented me from doing these things, and as a result of that, I've lived a very coddled and protected sort of early adult life, and late teenage, early adult life, which, no fault of my parents or anything. I've done it to myself completely, and I'm kind of at a point now where I've realised the error of my ways in doing that, and I want to change it. And the only thing that's preventing me from doing that at the moment is the amount of time I've got to allocate. You've only got a certain amount of bandwidth in a day or in a week or in a month, and I'm spending the vast majority of my energy and my bandwidth and my time and my motivation at work, which is it's life. It's not a bad thing at all. However, I've call it a quarter life crisis, call it an existential crisis, whatever, I don't care. I've kind of done a lot of pensive thinking, a lot of introspection recently, where I've sat down and actually thought, right, what is it that I want from life? If I had no money, if money wasn't a problem and money wasn't an issue, then what would I do? And I thought to myself, well, I'd still love to be around coffee, but I wouldn't involve this much time doing the current thing that I'm doing at my work. And for context, a lot of what I do in my work, even though I'm a trainer, so I love this part of my job, I'll go to different coffee shops that we supply, and I'll sit down with their team and I'll go through exactly how to make great coffee, and I love inspiring people and showing people like how to do the things that I love. It's a great gig. It's really, really good, very fulfilling. It's great to teach people something that, you know, I'm interested in, and to see them interested as well. It's really, you know, heartwarming. Excuse the lighting once again. And I love that. However, recently I haven't been doing that, and my job has been very much sit and pack bags, and you know, to an extent that's okay. However, more and more recently, I've just kind of thought, you know, in the time I've spent doing all of this bag prepping and working for £10 an hour, you know, I'm on salary for 25,000, which roughly relates to about £10.40, I think, an hour, something like that. In that time, I've not really achieved as much as I'd want to achieve if money wasn't an issue. Now, relatively close, an acquaintance, a friend of mine that I grew up with, who lives in my hometown, has recently ridden his bike from Derby, Britain to Derby, Australia. Well, he's in the process, he's currently in Pakistan. Mental job, absolutely incredible. He just took off on his dad's bike. His dad did the same journey 40 years ago, I think. So he's taking off 40 years later on his dad's bike, and he's doing the same journey. He's going across Europe, through Germany, down towards the Mediterranean, across into. He's just gone through Afghanistan. He was sat drinking tea with the Taliban, which is crazy. Which I don't think that's a good idea. However, the story to have back from that is incredible. To say that you've done something like that, and he's got all of these amazing stories and all this amazing footage that he's posting online, and it's obviously not all good in terms of, like, it's not all enjoyable for him, but it's an adventure. It's not just about the good times, and seeing how far he's gone and how much life he's lived in the past 8 months compared to me, to kind of put things into perspective for me. And I know you shouldn't judge, you know, compare your life with other people's lives. That's not a healthy way of doing things. However, we're in very similar situations, he and I. The difference is he hasn't got the fear that I have to live. You know, he's a mountaineer, and that's something I wanted to get into, and he's a rock climber, which is something I adore. He's just not got that fear of you know, all of these like mortal fears that I suffer with. And he just cracks on. And I've not spoken to him about it yet, but I'd love to sit down and have a pint with him about this. But you know, the fear of what might happen is almost second to the chance to live a fulfilled and exciting life with stories to tell your grandkids. And I think that having that as being your number one goal is what an incredible thing to have at the age of 22, 23. And in the meantime, I'm sat packing bags, which is, you know, it is what it is. But it's something I can change, and the only reason I haven't changed it is that I like the certainty of knowing how much money I'm going to have at the end of the month, and I don't like change. It concerns me. It feels uncomfortable, you know, and throughout, especially the past year, but the majority of my life, to be honest with you, I've strived to find more and more comfort, be comfortable, and hide from your problems, and avoid doing difficult, laborious tasks, and you know, blame other people when things are going wrong. And that's something I really want to change. And one of the big things that's got me through this last year's episode of Poor Mental Health has been this almost mantra that, you know, though this feels uncomfortable, what I'm gaining from this experience is stories. You know, seek discomfort and live an exciting life. You know, it's the call to adventure. Adventure isn't the positives. Don't strive for happiness, strive for adventure. You know, have mountains to climb, mental and physical. You know, do difficult things and have stories to tell your kids to inspire your family and friends and your children and your grandchildren. You know, I want to have a life that's like that. And, you know, you can call that an egotistical goal if you want, but it's important. You know, I feel like this, like a lot of what I value and what I detest, I should probably say, in the world has been narcissism, and I kind of had a problem with narcissism growing up, in the sense that I didn't want to be up my own arse. I didn't want to be a narcissist, and I saw it in like my generation of people whose life is posting. Social media is just a shrine to themselves, and everybody thinks that they've got some like they're God's gift to the world. And part of that for me growing up was, I hated it. I was like, get off your high horse. But I kind of like signalled my virtue by pushing myself down as hard as possible whenever something would come up, and dismissing my own opinions and my own thoughts based on that fact. I didn't want to be a narcissist, which is stupid. But I do want that. I need to do something with my life, and especially while I'm young. I'm very aware of the fact that I won't be this free in 10, 15, 20 years time, even 5 years time. I won't have the freedom that I currently have to, and I'll be completely open and honest. I'm in a comfortable position. I live at home still. I don't pay rent. I've offered to, but my parents are fucking lovely people and they refuse to take rent, and I feel it's it's such a kind thing to do. But the problem with that is I'm comfortable, and comfort's not your friend. Becoming comfortable in discomfort is your friend. You need to befriend that sense of uncertainty and discomfort, and I'm not doing that. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so what I want to do is get away from home. I want to take a month after I leave work. I've got a month's notice period, so it should be around February time, when I will officially leave work full time. I have no other jobs to do after I've left. I've not found another job. I'm not going on straight to work somewhere else. I've saved about £5,000 roughly. Wasn't with the intention of keeping it and staying off work. It was towards a new van, but I feel like this is more important. And why I think it's more important is that, again, I haven't got much time. In the grand scheme of things, I am young, I'm fit, somewhat, I'm healthy, somewhat. Currently have a really bad bulging disc and sciatica, but we'll brush past that. I'm never going to be this free again to do these things, and I have to do them now while I'm young. I have to go and experience what it's like to be on my own somewhere where my parents can't help me. I have to be self-sufficient. I have to learn to be self-sufficient, and that's something I'm not at the moment, and I need to be. So that's the plan. I'm going to take some time off work. The first month I'm going to solely put towards, I'm going to focus on achieving health and fitness. I'm going to really focus on sleep, because that's something I've massively neglected in the interest of work, and also in the, not in the interest of work particularly, but the fact that I've been working and I get home and I don't want to go to bed early because I don't want to go to work tomorrow, so I'll stay and sit and be on my phone for 3 hours when I should be asleep, which is definitely something that I am a victim of doing to myself. So I'm going to take some time off. I'm going to really try and detox from my phone a little bit, focus on these really important things, getting away from social media, getting into really good sleep, get some really good sleep hygiene, learn to take care of myself with my sleep. I'm then going to what I'm going to do is focus on my nutrition, make sure I'm eating a lot and eating healthy, and I'm going to focus on training. I want to make sure that I've got a really good training plan in place, and I want to try and install a really healthy morning and evening routine. So I've got a bit of structure to my day, but in a way that I want to live it, that will help me progress as a person, rather than just be, I've got to get up and brush my teeth and have my breakfast before I leave for work. I don't want to do that. I want to get up and I want to do something healthy for the sake of me, not for the sake of feeling all right when I'm at work. That's not what I want to do. So they're my first goals, and then following that, commencing that, I'm going to start to do more and more things that are pushing me outside my comfort zone. Again, I've got this exposure hierarchy of things that I want to do, and at the start of it was drive 10 minutes on my own, and then it was get the train to the next town over and come back on my own, which for context is a 10-minute train journey. I couldn't do this 6, 7, 8 months ago. It was impossible. I couldn't leave my room nearly. So I want to keep pushing this now. So it's going to go from go away for a few days, go away for a week, go to Scotland, drive to John O'Groats, go from John O'Groats to Land's End, take a few days to do it. These are things that would have been absolutely impossible to me 7, 8 months ago, and now is a genuine idea of what I can do. And then go away, go abroad, go snowboarding. I want to go snowboarding in January. And, you know, obviously it's a leisure thing, but also it's a massive mental exercise to see what it is I'm capable of doing, you know. I sincerely believed a few months ago that I would spend the rest of my life under my parents' care in my bedroom, in my childhood bedroom, without a job, on benefits, which is, yeah, a horrible thing to think, but that's genuinely what I believed. Which isn't healthy. I'm driving down these old country roads now, just waffling. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on myself. I'm going to build, you know, some really good habits. I'm going to really fixate on keeping a journal about it. I'm going to post about it. I'm going to make sure that even when I fuck up, I'm going to make a note of it so that I'm keeping myself accountable for, you know, why I'm doing this. And then I'm going to try and really push this YouTube thing. I'm going to document what it takes to go from my position as a recluse to being somebody who will be confident and capable of going anywhere on the planet and being the strongest man in the room, mentally and physically. And that's a genuine, how do I say, that will be the case, is what I'm trying to say. That is a non-negotiable fact of why and what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm just driving currently. Literally, if you could see the road, I mean, you can kind of see it through the window, but I am literally in the middle of nowhere. And again, a few months ago, 8, 9 months ago, this would have been physically impossible for me to do. I would be in full-blown panic attack mode right now. I haven't the foggiest idea where I am, partially because it's foggy and I can't see, but also I'm in the middle of the sticks in the Peak District. And there's a car. There you go. And now I'm here, and, you know, I'm living proof that you can overcome fears that you believe to be 100% true. And through this YouTube channel, I want to help to inspire people that would have been in my position. I wish that I'd have had something like this when I was at my worst, and to have somebody to talk to who understands what, you know, how it feels to be trapped in your own mind. And yeah, that's just kind of my whole reason for making these videos. It's not to toot my own horn, it's not to go, oh, look at you, you're brave. It's none of that. I'm not interested in making money from this channel. You know, I've got 3 subscribers currently, so it's not like I'm going to be making money, but my goal isn't that. My goal is to help people. I want to, when I thought about, you know, what it is that I would do, and if I had, you know, ample money supply and money wasn't a problem anymore, it's steel, and money wasn't a problem, I would do this. I want to help people. I want to help people become their best, you know, and I want to help young lads like myself when I was 13 and earlier this year overcome the things that they believe to be absolute gospel. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So if you're interested in that and it sounds like something that you would like to sort of be a part of and follow and require it, I'd love to have you. I don't actually love to have you on board, because that's what everyone says, but you know, it'd be great to have you here and to hear your input to these videos of me monologuing into the camera like I know everything in the comments. You know, let's have a conversation, because there's not many of those going about that are necessary. You know, they are necessary. So yeah, if you made it to the end of this, what are you doing, mate? Go outside, go and play, go and climb a tree. Don't watch me rant in a car while I'm driving through the sticks. But I do appreciate it, and if you want to come back, subscribe and leave a like and a comment, but leave a comment only if you've got something to say. I want to hear what you've got to say. You know, I want to be a part of this conversation, not the only speaking voice. But until then, I bid you adieu as I drive into the unwavering darkness of the Peak District National Park.